There's a tough meeting. What I'm gonna do with this meeting, I guess. So. There's this. Distracted by all the people in the room. So I guess what do you got? You gotta step. They step down there. Ah, does it matter? I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. So, hello everyone. I call the our special meeting to order of the electors and citizens qualified to vote in town meetings. It will be held today at 240 Kensington Road, Tuesday, June 1st at 6:45. Non-budgeted
We're creating a standard.
2,605 from the outside police service account to the extra police officer account, both in the general fund. And to approve, well, those are the two motions to approve. To obtain and approve to appropriate $24,881 of incremental taxes to the contractual services account in the assessor's department to pay TMA's fee, the accounts from which the revenue will be appropriated from for personal property taxes from 16-17 to 19 fiscal year 19 and 20. So we didn't take the vote to make me the moderator, huh?
Can now.
Well, we take a vote, yeah. let's-
Sure, I'll make a motion to elect the mayor as the moderator of the special town council meeting. I second the special town meeting, sorry.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I didn't vote, so on the matter, okay, so. So we have our special meeting here of the electors and citizens. We have two different motions that we'll read and take a vote on, and then once we read them and put them on the table, people could express their opinion, and then we'll go ahead and close the their hearing. And then we vote on them, I think we're voting them on our consent agenda right later.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Okay, Mr. Mayor, Councilor Levy here, I will make a motion. The first one, to obtain approval of a non-budgeted appropriation of $92,605 from the outside police services account to the extra police officer account, both in the general fund.
second on that? All those in favor, well, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But we got a second, so we have a second, so it's on the table, so if there's anybody here from the public that wants to have any opinion of our approving the non-budgeted appropriation from the outside police services to the extra police officer account, both in the general fund, now would be your time to speak. Hearing no one, we have a motion on the table, so all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved. Another motion for the hearing?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Levy here, I will Make a motion to obtain approval to appropriate $24,881 of incremental taxes to the contractual services account in the assessor's department to pay TMA fees. Accounts from which revenue will be appropriated are the personal property taxes in fiscal year 2016 through 17, property taxes fiscal year 17-18, personal property taxes fiscal year 18-19, and the personal property taxes fiscal year 19-20.
Thank you. We have a second on that? Second. Okay, second. So we have that second motion on the floor to do another transfer. Is there anybody that has any comments or questions on it before we vote? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and take the vote on that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. That now will end our
So you can move.
motion to close our town meeting, special town meeting.
So
Second? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, everyone. We've got a little bit of a break now before our meeting. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call our town council meeting to order, and if we can please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay. Roll call, okay.
Councilor Adele Christensen. I don't have my sheet either.
Good names.
I'm like, all right, good name. Councilor Lottie.
Here.
Mayor Kuzinski.
Here.
Councilor Panessa.
Here.
Councilor Uranaga.
Here.
And Councilor Beach.
Here.
Then,
Oh, Councilor Rosso.
here.
Everybody missed that.
It's been a rough night all the way around here. Sure you're here?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so we are here now. We have our audience of citizens next. If there's anyone in the very crowded audience that wishes to speak, now would be your time. Or on our Zoom. I don't hear anyone speaking up anywhere, so we will go ahead and close the audience of citizens and go on to our meeting agenda. We have quite a large consent agenda. We have, I'll just run through the topics very quickly. We've already reviewed this before the meeting. Monetary donations for the Berlin Library. We have permission of consumption of alcoholic beverages at the Timberland Park Pavilion. Carlos Rosita's family reunion on Saturday, July 31st. Approval, acceptance of donation to the fishing derbies in the amount of $250 for Berlin Parks and Recreation Departments for the fishing derby on Saturday, April 17th and Saturday, April 24th. Accept the donation of $100 and appropriate funds to the police canine program expenditure account. Approve the request by Gwen McCann of the Kensington Congregational Church to waive the planning and zoning application special event fee of $150 and $879.90 law enforcement attendance fee for the Festival on the Hill. Accept donations to the Berlin Animal Control donation account for $255 and items valued at $200. Number 7, approve a non-budgeted appropriation of $92,000 from the outside police services account to the extra duty police officer account, both in the general fund, pending approval by the Board of Finance. These are things we just voted on in our public meeting. Second one here, same thing, approve a non-budgeted appropriation of $24,881 from the personal property tax accounts in the general fund of the contractual services in the assessor's department, pending approval by the Board of Finance. Call a town meeting at 6:45 on June 15th to approve approve a FY 22 non-budgeted appropriation of $2,210,640 from the general fund unassigned balance to the pension actuarial account, both in the general fund. Call a town meeting on June 15, 2021 for the purpose of voting to accept the non-budget appropriation of the State of Connecticut Youth Services Grant in the amount of $189 for deposit in the Child and Youth Services Revenue Account, and appropriate those funds to the Youth Grant Expenditure Account, both subject to the approval by the Board of Finance. Number 11, authorize the town manager to enter into a farm use license agreement with Ryan Matson for the portion of the property across from Berlin High School and Patterson's Way that is appropriate for farm use. And that's it, 11 items on our consent agenda. So we've all read them. Go ahead and let's take a motion. We'll put them on the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Buddy here. I will make a motion to accept the 11 items on the consent agenda.
You second on that?
I second.
Thank you. So any questions or concerns on any of these consent items? Hearing none, go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Consent agenda items approved. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Good luck this year.
We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
To help the community back together.
Yeah, that's all great, right?
Yeah,
Good.
thank you so much. We appreciate the
Yes.
support of the town of Berlin.
See you there.
All right.
Okay. So on to our new business.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The first item on the agenda is a feasibility and cost assessment, expansion and renovation of the police locker room facilities. Chief Clark is on the line to give you background.
Hey, Chief.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Gotcha.
Okay. So as I'm sure you're all aware, for a number of years, decades, been trying to replace the police department. About 2 years ago, we started looking at possibly expanding it into the whole first floor of the town hall. That didn't really work out. We were able to upgrade the jail cells. Money left over from that project. We were able to also add the interview rooms that we needed. Dispatch had been upgraded when we did the radios. The last thing that really needs to be looked at for quality of life issue really for the officers is the locker room. We're requesting, the Board of Police Commissioners met, voted on this. They're requesting that the council ask the Public Building Commission to do a feasibility study and cost assessment on what it would take to bring those locker rooms up to an acceptable level. I expect that, we're all cognizant of the town's financial situation, and we realize that, a new PD is not in the near future. So this would be a good way to get this done, and I think it would make my personal opinion anyway, it would be good for at least 10 years. When they built that facility, they actually did anticipate the department growing. They just didn't anticipate the amount of equipment that the officers have, which is, they basically have high school lockers in there, and the equipment and stuff that they're required to have, they've got stuff stored on top of lockers on the floor. And I know several of you have come through the PD to see it. So again, what we're asking for is the council to task the Public Building Commission with a feasibility study and cost assessment pursuant to the statement of need, which is attached.
All right. Thanks, Chief. I'm just sitting there.
The lights, huh?
Yeah, we're in the dark. Maybe it's better we're in the dark. I don't know. Just looking at the picture there, it's a little strange. Okay, yeah, no, I know, Chief, we talked about this, John, for a long time to get this done, so it's a good thing we get that going. What does everybody think? Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and take a motion on
Okay,
this.
Mr. Mayor, I move to resolve that the Public Building Commission be requested to conduct a feasibility and cost assessment pursuant to the statement of need. The police locker room.
Second on
I second.
that? Okay, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thanks.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 2
Excuse me.
is the authorization for the town manager to subordinate town's right of first refusal with respect to 921 Farmington Avenue. Tim Mahoney is available for discussion. Tim?
Thank you. Yes, we have right of first refusal for the Amco property, 921 Farmington Avenue, from when we sold them a sliver of property. And when they refinance it, we already have the subordination agreement, they're refinancing it, so we're just subordinating again so that they can accommodate this new financing.
All right, any questions for Jim? Thanks, Jim. Questions? If not, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the town manager to execute the attached subordination agreement concerning the town's right of first refusal to purchase 921 Farmington Avenue, recorded in volume 697, page 1136 of the Berlin Land Records. Allow Amco Machine and its related entities to modify their loans, subject to the review and approval of Corporation Council.
Second on that.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all is in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Agenda item number 3, authorization for the town manager to amend the contract amendment with Laredo Engineering for services related to fill piles on the boulevard. Jim?
Yes, when we removed the fill files for the Boulevard project, 2 of the fill files we found had asbestos containing materials. So that requires special treatment of those fill piles. And essentially, one of the fill piles is from the 889 project, from the 89 property. So we'll fund that portion of it with the 89 brownfields grants. And the other fill pile was from the DOT property that the boulevard goes through. So we'll fund that portion from the boulevard project contingency. And we're not sure at this point exactly how much it's going to cost to remove the fill piles. We're working with DEP and we're hoping to be able to put at least one of those fill piles under the cap on 889, which will save us money. We had gotten a few proposals for removal of fill piles, but the contractors had varying estimates of the quantity. So we now have that surveyed and we're going to get updated proposals by the end of the week. And we may decide to also bid the job. But regardless, we have these fill piles with asbestos containing materials that we didn't anticipate. And we're going to need consulting services from Laredo to help us move through this, get the DEP approvals, document the process so that everything's properly disposed of. And so we're talking about $13,225, and half would be from the 889 brownfields grants and half from the boulevard contingency.
Okay. Thanks, Jim. Any questions for Jim on this? All familiar with this project, obviously we've been working on it for a long time. Some of these environmental remediation. So no other comments or questions, go ahead and take a motion.
We'll motion to waive the bidding process, authorize the town manager to enter into a contract amendment with Laredo Engineering, $13,225 to provide for additional environmental consulting services related to the removal of the ACM contaminated fill piles on 889 Farmington Avenue, and that $6,612.50 of the cost be charged to the demolition and environmental remediation account number, and $6,612.50 to the Farmington Avenue Development non-grant account number, as this is in the best interest of the town.
Second on that?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, motion on the floor, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Agenda item number 4, the final design contract for the Kensington Road Bridge replacement. Mike Ahern?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Yeah, this is the, this project has transformed into a full bridge replacement. This is the bridge right up north of the Town Hall entrance drive at Brook Street. We have $1.959 million from the CROG through the LOTSIP program, but the town has to fund the design, permitting, and the bid process up to that point. It's just for construction. We're doing design and the entire contractor selection process. So we put a bid out. We received 3 bids, and in your bid summary, you'll see they range from $160,000 to $274,000. What I found amazing was that 2 of the bids were within $1,100 of each other. So we analyzed the bids, went through them, got some follow-up information from both Weston and Sampson and BL companies. And by the time we're all said and done, the BL companies would have to increase their proposal to $198,000 to include 3 scope items that weren't in their proposal. Weston and Sampson had these services and all the rest of the requested services in their price of $161,100. So we're recommending you award the contract to Weston and Sampson. We're also putting a contingency, a 20% contingency on this because I'm concerned about the nearby railroad. Anytime you deal with a railroad, there's going to be some unexpected permits, fees, conditions, all that stuff, as well as time. The other thing I'm worried about is we have an underground, actually a water and sewer mains running under the channel upstream of the bridge. So I think between all that, I guess, upstream and downstream constraints and complexity, 20% contingency is probably a good idea. So the amount we'd like to award Weston and Sampson, the contract to would be a not to exceed $194,000. One other note, based on comments we received from planning and zoning, and I think some concerns I heard from the town council, we've included in this scope a requirement for the firm to look at both a full road closure as well as trying to maintain 1 lane of traffic through most of the construction. So at some point, I'll be coming back with probably A is going to cost this and B is going to cost this, because I'm sure the maintaining traffic will have a cost impact. So that's where we are, but we'd like to get Weston and Sampson rolling on the design.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see when you come back, I think, it seems like most, I don't know, my opinion would be we want to keep 1 lane open, but that's quite the major thoroughfare there that will be a great thing if we close it for most people, but we'll see when you come back what it's all about. So, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, go ahead and take a motion.
I will move to award contract number 2021-20 for final design services of the Kensington Road Bridge replacement to Weston and Sampson Engineers of Inc. of Rocky Hill, Connecticut, the amount of $161,100, and authorize the town manager to execute change orders when required in the amount not to exceed $194,000.
Second on that.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Anyone? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5, it's Neighborhood Assistance Act Tax Credit Program. This comes in front of the council, at least for the last 3 years or so. Connecticut Neighborhood Assistance Act is a tax credit program that provides tax credits to businesses that provide grants to qualifying community programs. This year too, we have 2 proposals from the Prudence Crandall Center. The first proposal is for energy efficiency. that will be used to benefit the center's Rose Hill Energy Conservation Program. The second proposal is for programs serving low-income people. Funds will be part of the center's annual appeal, would support emergency shelter, supportive housing, counseling, and advocacy services for the victims of domestic violence and their families. The purpose of this agenda item is to set a public hearing for Tuesday, June 15th at 7 p.m. to discuss the two proposals. And the second action needed is to designate the town manager as the liaison for the town of Berlin, handle the neighborhood assistance matters.
Yeah, we've been doing this now for a few years, right?
Yes.
It's pretty, great cause, so. Any questions for Roche? Not, go ahead and take a motion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, first motion, I move to support proposals from the Prudence Crandall Center for the 2021 Connecticut Neighborhood Assistance Act Tax Credit Program and approve the setting of a public hearing for Tuesday, June 15th, 2021 at 7 p.m. to discuss the proposals from the Prudence Crandall Center for the 2021 Connecticut NAA Tax Credit Program and to solicit citizen input.
All right, thank you. Second on that? Second. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, number two, I move to designate Rose J. Wagrima, town manager and liaison for the town of Berlin to handle all the neighborhood assistance matters.
Second on that? Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right. Well, town manager's report. Might be record time tonight here.
I can't even break that record. I have nothing to report.
Oh, my goodness. Whoa, wow.
However, having said that, I can
We're
make,
making up for it here.
perhaps, we want to have a short, brief conversation about the leash law follow-up from the ordinance committee.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you want to bring it up under the council as communication.
Yeah,
We
we
can talk about it then.
can talk about it then, yeah. Yeah. So no report, no report, okay, well, we'll move on. We get special committee reports, we know we're gonna talk about, it. Well, actually, we talk about it here, right? Ordinance committee, sure. Right, this would make sense. In our ordinance committee meeting, we have our golf commission meeting, joint meeting, Thursday at 6 at the high school coming up. And so we had our leash law meeting and had a lot of public comments on different thoughts from different groups. Because we haven't dealt with it for so long, I did ask Jennifer to look at it and just make sure we've done everything right with it. And I also had some questions on the authority of the Conservation Commission, I think they're got some state statutes that their authority flows from. So Jeff, I don't know, if we could just kind of had some questions on that, about their authority and just, kind of review for us. It could be at the next meeting. We talked about doing it at the next meeting. Jennifer's gonna do a little bit of research and I think we want to pass the leash law for most of the town. We still have some probably deliberations and maybe some suggestions on where the unleash area may or will be. But most of the leash law, for the whole town, other than if we do determine some off-leash area will be, will be on a lead. I think we talked about 6 to 7 feet, right, is what seems to be the fair amount in the rest of the town. So, but we were gonna clean it up a little bit, Jeff, and just kind of review it again because it's been a while since we looked at it and just had some questions on the statutes. State statutes in particular on the Conservation Commission. So if we can get some of those questions answered, we can probably so we're gonna try and do an ordinance committee meeting, right? Before the next council meeting, if we can. and with some of those topics to be discussed. So, and we could talk about, what, before we have that meeting, what will be on the agenda. And then we'll bring that full ordinance to the town council meeting. Does that make sense? Is that what, we all kind of remember what happened?
You probably can do the leash law anyway.
Yeah.
Later on designate.
Yes, I think we need to, I agree, Peter. We need to pass the leash law for the rest of the town, and we can either phase in a leash-free area somewhere, or, we can figure it out. But yeah, definitely most of the town the whole town needs to be covered by that. I think we should vote that in next council meeting, or, pass it forward from the ordinance committee to the council, and then we'll take that vote. So, what do we think about an ordinance committee? I don't know, maybe, I guess, next week sometime?
Next Thursday, it's your availability.
Next Thursday?
Thursday the 10th.
Yeah, what do we, that seems, do we have something that day?
Yes, we have something, meeting with have an interview.
Oh, yeah, but
That'll be done by
that's in the,
5:45, so we can.
Oh, yeah.
6.
oh, okay.
So 10th is an option, or the 17th is open to.
Well, if we could do it, next week. If we can't do next week, we'll have to do the 17th. We'll have to wait till the next meeting, but
You want to try for the 10th?
yeah, people are around. What do you guys think? The 10th?
That works out.
Yeah.
Anything after the 9th is good with me.
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck the 17th. I don't know.
You want?
I won't be able to make the 17th.
Okay, the 10th though, you're good?
Yes, 10th's good.
Okay, all right, so let's do the 10th at 6, here.
Just as a reminder,
Yeah.
because you haven't really done an ordinance in a while,
Yeah.
is that you would have to set a public hearing,
Oh, okay, all right,
all right?
Yes.
And then after the public hearing, you can adopt the ordinance, but just as a reminder, because it's been a while
yeah,
since we've done the ordinances.
so we have public meeting at the next council meeting,
Yeah, so at the next council meeting,
public hearing.
you can set the public hearing.
Oh, set it, I got you,
And
yes,
then it's gonna go into July now.
yeah, that's fine,
So
that's
then
fine,
you have the public hearing.
yes,
And the same night that you have the public hearing on the ordinance, you can adopt it.
Right.
All right, you don't have to find ordinances, we've been moving them out,
right,
but you could if you wanted to.
yeah. Okay. When's the first July meeting? We do it after the 4th, like we? Yeah, when we did that.
So then we're not meeting on the 10th?
Yes, we're gonna meet on the 10th for the ordinance committee, that's just the ordinance committee.
Okay,
July 6th is the first.
July 6th is the first one in July, yeah, okay.
And then there's another one scheduled for the 20th.
20, okay, so, yeah, so let's have the ordinance committee meeting the 10th, just so we can just discuss, just make sure that statute ordinance gets cleaned up and we know, and then we did have some questions on the conservation commission of the wording.
So I don't think here, the previous corporation council, it's the statute number that Jennifer wanted to follow up.
Yes,
But open space, it was confirmed that is under the conservation commission.
okay,
They have the authority.
so they do, okay,
That's what in the minutes, and Jennifer will follow up that she had a problem, not a problem, couldn't really trace the actual number
oh,
of the
of the statute,
that was. in the-
She thought it was the wrong one, right?
oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, but
So they have the authority to vote over what that open space is used for. Right,
that's what it said, yes.
okay, and they've already voted for that, correct? But we can review that in the ordinance committee, we'll just go over that, just to make it clear to everybody, to the public too, I wanna make sure everybody's clear on that as well, right? Aside us, but,
So a point of clarification, so I've left a message with Attorney Paula.
Yeah.
Draft some language. What do you want to say in the language? the leash law, because we have to have a draft ready for you.
Yes,
You want leash law for the town, except
Areas under control of the Conservation Committee.
that means all open space,
I don't know, but they,
except for areas to be determined by the conservation.
but, yeah, again, well,
loosey goosey.
we'll have to figure that, let's have some discussions about that to get the right language. Yeah, I don't know, I mean, obviously, let's just say for the sake of argument that we know what we're talking about, so let's say we decide let's say we decide, okay, we want to try and find an off-leash area. Obviously, if it's not under the purview of the Conservation Commission, it could be in Pistol Creek, obviously in the control of the town, so we know we can do that, but we should clarify probably, we could talk maybe with Attorney Capola about it in the leash law statute that we hope to pass in July now, I guess it would be, the time we'd be ready, right, for that it's clear on, the open space, which we're really talking about Bicentennial Park, that's what we're talking about, that's where the current unleashed area. And other people, and make, also clarify a lot of things like leash law is passed, even including Bicentennial Park, that they can walk their dogs, just have to be on a leash. Or the 6 or 7 foot lead, right? I mean, that's, if that came to pass, I'm not saying that came to pass, but if it did, based upon their authority, right? I mean, and they don't have a problem with dogs, as long as they're on a leash, right? Right, conservation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, if I may ask you a question?
Yeah.
About this open space coming under the purview of the Conservation Commission. Does that mean the council can't impose, or the ordinance cannot tell what can be done in open space unless they agree to it? You're on mute.
You're on mute. Oh, and unmute.
You're talking about a scenario where there would need to be an appropriation of funds, right?
Well, no. So let's say that, so the Conservation Commission says, no off-leash area in our park, right? That they have the authority over, all right?
Yep.
And,
Yep.
But then now in our leash law, let's say we say, okay, all area in town, dogs can be walked on a lead other than designated unleashed area, probably to be determined by an amendment later, so on the conservation land, what if the Conservation Commission said, just for the sake of argument, well, we don't want any dogs even on a leash, you could say, they say that and exempt out of our ordinance?
Well, you'd have to
Is that what
first you'd have to look at the plan of conservation and development and see if there's any guidance in there
Okay,
that really restricts it to pure open space. If there's a restriction in the POCD, then yeah, you're going to be stuck with that. If there's no restriction and the Conservation Commission says, hey, this land is under our purview, which it is, and we're not going to allow, off-leash dogs, then that's a problem.
okay. Now, could they also say we're not gonna allow any dogs?
They
No.
could. They could.
I just want to bring up something Hiroshi pointed to, that list of past meetings and decisions and things. On July 9th, 2019, the motion was passed in the Conservation Commission, favored 6 favored and 1 abstention. The Conservation Commission recommended to the town council to include all open space parcels purview to the commission in the leash ordinance. I don't ever remember seeing that before, until you pointed out in that list.
No leash order.
It was in the minutes. Today, the Conservation Commission wants dogs on a leash.
On a leash,
They have made it clear in every meeting, all
okay,
their minutes, all their material. They're not saying no dogs, but they say open space, dogs should be on a leash.
so what happens if the council says, well, we don't want that, we want dogs off a leash in an area, what happens then? Just out of curiosity, just for the sake of argument, we're just trying to play out this. So let's say, all right, we decide in our ordinance that, all right, the unleashed area in town is gonna be Bicentennial Park in a particular place. Well, what happens then? We have a clash of authority now, or we lose?
Well, they have jurisdiction over open space.
Okay, so we have no jurisdiction there.
That's what their charge is.
Okay. And that's by state statute.
Again, I didn't know this was gonna come up tonight. I would have refreshed my recollection of the law in the area, but that's my recollection.
Okay, and then we'll, and yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Jeff, so that's the stuff we want to talk about at the next ordinance committee, just so we have all the facts before we move forward, right? So, yeah, that's what Jennifer was gonna clarify for us.
What I propose, Mayor, that maybe you, Jennifer, and I have a call.
Yeah.
for the meeting,
So there's,
We have everything we need for the meeting.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not in the meeting and there's something missing. We have all the pieces, it just she needs to confirm it.
yes, right. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, good. Is that good? Good. Yeah. All right, so we'll do the 10th at 6 and we'll get some clarification. Then we'll have, obviously public meeting, people are, obviously everyone's invited, and if anyone's watching tonight, it's June 10th, public meeting, again, about the leash ordinance, so we will be here on the 10th. June 10th, did I say August? June, I said.
August, no, we see it.
Yeah, August, we're not meeting, so yeah, it'll be August now. It'll be June 10th, and we'll talk about that some more, so, okay. So that's that, all right, so that's the only special committee, we have the one coming up on the golf, and so council communications. What we have, anything?
Just to say, it was great to be outside in the parade on Monday. The weather held up. There's a lot of people that showed up. It was a great town. Look for the town for everybody to come out and enjoy themselves for a little bit and support those in military service who gave their lives for us.
Absolutely, probably the biggest crowd I've seen in a while. I mean, obviously we didn't see any crowd the year before, but even going back a few years, that was a crowd of old.
I think everybody needed it.
They needed to get out. We had to get outside and go to events, so, right, and that was a great event to attend. So, any other comments, questions?
A wonderful turnout. It was great to see everybody out there without masks,
Yeah.
in person, up front and personal. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And lots of candy being thrown as well.
Yeah, I ran out.
Yeah,
Buy more. That and dog biscuits next year.
we're gonna do some dog biscuits next year. We
Yeah.
told them that we felt bad. The dogs kept going for the candy. We didn't want to do
Yeah.
some dog biscuits next year for our special canine friends. Okay, if there's one other, if there's no other council communications, let's go to our acceptance of minutes. Motion on that.
Okay, I will make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from Tuesday, May 18th, 2021.
Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on those minutes? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. And we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, we are hereby adjourned. Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Arosh. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry, in person next time.
All right, see you next time. See you on some of you on the
Thank
10th.
you. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.